this is the inevitable question, of course, about the nightclub incident in LA. Do you think you would have departed the club or that would have been handled differently if it wasn't a franchise club, but if it had been a more established club like Hawthorn? Do you think the events would have played out differently?
Oh, potentially. The end result might have been the same, but the lead up to that end result would have been a little bit different. So, yeah, who knows? Maisie and I speak regularly. I left there with no ill feeling towards the footy club. It was just one of those things.
Yeah.
And Travis Holt obviously was the CEO at the time. He's now at the AFL. We get on great. I've spoken to Bluey McKenna. I'm still good friends with Harley Bennell, Trent McKenzie, Brandon Matera, a lot of the young guys that, I really tried to help in my 3.5 years there. So, yeah, I was disappointed with the handling of it. Some of the mistruths around the story, the club never came out and clarified them, which I would have liked done because, there was some misreporting around the incident that, just it wasn't great for me or my reputation. But they didn't do that. They came up with a decision that my time there was done, and I couldn't have agreed more with the decision. And we parted ways probably as amicable as you could under the circumstances.
All right, great answer.
Campbell, you're one of the very rare AFL footballers to represent their country at two different sports. And I think you know where I'm going here, mate. International rules, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. But you need to explain. Yep. 2016, the captain, if you don't mind, of the Australian Kabaddi team. What's going on there?
It's a great question. It was about, I reckon it was like a week before the AFL Grand Final, so sort of late September. I get a call completely out of the blue by a guy called Bruce Cater, who manages Della Vedova, and he used to manage Andrew Bowden. Yeah. And he basically said, look, I'm sorry to call you out of the blue. I got your number off a friend of yours. I'm putting together the Australian Kabaddi team to go over to India and compete in the 2016 Kabaddi World Cup. And I'm ringing you to ask whether you wanted to be a part of that. And I said to him, appreciate the call, Bruce, but what the hell is Kabaddi? So that was my initial reaction. And he sort of sent me through some DVDs, and I checked it out. And, it's like British Bulldog, in a 7 on one side, 7 on the other. You have a raider that comes across, and he's got to make contact with any of the 7 and get back across to his side without getting decapitated, really. There's no rules. You can put them in chokeholds, arm bars, drag their legs up. So I said, mate, that sounds really exciting. When do we leave? And he said, we leave the day after the AFL Grand Final. I was like, in 8 days? And you haven't got a team together yet, right? What? I'm going to miss the Caulfield Guineas and the Caulfield Cup.
Oh, of course.
So I said no.
Yeah.
He rang me back about 2 days later and he said, look, I know you said no, but how would you like to be the captain of the Australian Kabaddi team? And all of a sudden you sort of,
hello,
captain. Always dreamed of, representing my country. And I said, have I been ratified by the board? He goes, no. I said, have I been voted in by my peers? He said, no. I said, well, what's going on? He said, well, you're the first person that's committed to the trip, so we're going to be captain. Can you help me put a team together, right? So I started ringing all my mates that had just retired, Brock McLean, Brad Sewell, like you name it. I was like, boys, what do you reckon we go to India on a footy trip? So I'm sort of selling it to them. And
it's a footy trip
party on the side, but we're going to go to Ahmedabad, India, right, for 2 weeks. And we ended up getting a bit of a team together. Adam Schneider and Stephen Milne came.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We got some local park footballers and a few other guys, and some Indian guys that actually knew the sport, that knew how to play. So they were pretty important tours.
That's always handy. Guys that know how to play the game.
And we fly over, we load up on duty-free, alcohol and stuff. We fly over to Ahmedabad, India, to find out it's a dry state. No bars, clubs in it, and they confiscated all our alcohol, right? We had to sign forms to the government, basically saying, that we're dependent on alcohol. Can you allow us to drink in our rooms, right? So that was the first step. And then we played India on the opening night of the 2016 Kabaddi World Cup.
Yes.
Star Sports broadcast this live throughout India, right?
Wow.
That final gets 6 million views. Yeah. Opening night, Australia, India, 180 million people tuned in. We're singing the national anthem, and I turned to the boys, and I go, any of you blokes know the rules? We learned as we went. We got smashed by India. They got told by half-time to take it easy on us because it would have been embarrassing. We played England, game 2, the Ashes, the Kabaddi Ashes. They beat us. We beat Argentina in the third game. We lost to South Korea, and Bangladesh beat us, so we didn't qualify for the finals. But it's a great trivia question if anyone ever asks you who the Australian Kabaddi team beat in the first ever Australian Kabaddi competition, and it's Argentina. Very proud of my role with Australian Kabaddi.
What a great story, Tone. What a great story.
We are going to leave on a high. Campbell, that is extra. This is one of the funniest sporting stories I've ever heard, and magnificently told. We could talk for another hour, but unfortunately we're out of time. Campbell, it's been an absolute delight. I'm almost on the point of forgiving you for taking out Matthew Cruiser. And that's how enjoyable this talk has been. So thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on your career. I think you can be really proud. I mean, as Troy, as you know, you've scaled the mountain to get to the summit. That's called the grand final, and you did it. And that's just magnificent. So thank you so much for being so generous with your time today for Troy and I here on More Than the Score, Campbell
Thanks,
Brown.
Campbell. Amazing, mate.
I've loved
the highlight of it for me today, mate, wasn't about the 08 flag. It was about 160 million watching you play Kabaddi, not knowing one rule.
Yeah.
Magnificent.
Hey, you know what? They have the World Cup every 3 years, right? And 2019 rolled around, and I was waiting, and we didn't get invited back. They've barred Australia from competition.
Oh.
We mustn't have put up that good a show.
Oh, that's magnificent.
I will forever be the Australian Kabaddi captain because I'll play Kabaddi again.
Right.
Campbell Kabaddi Brown, Tone.
There we go. Thank you. We'll be covering that next week on More Than the Score, the Australian Kabaddi League. You heard it here first. Thanks again, Campbell. Troy Zantuck, magnificent work as per usual, and we'll catch you next time on More Than the Score.